freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection, and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks. How y'all doing tonight? Coming to another edition of Dude After Dark. And I have a kind of fat stack of stuff, as it were. Let me just do one thing first, because it really tends to be very, very annoying whenever you put out a video. They have all these little stupid settings in there, like, hey, you can allow somebody to sample your stuff and use that and the other thing. You want automatic chapters? No, I don't want any flipping automatic chapters, and I don't want people sampling my stuff. I don't want people going in there and editing my things. So I'm now probably going to be jittering a little bit, because I'm now actually having to go back into the YouTube Creator Studio and switch a few things around. Translation: unkajitter the way that they have things kajittered. Is it strictly annoying? Yes. Is it really annoying? Absolutely. Is it something they possibly could put more click boxes on there for you to go, no, don't want this, stop that, don't do this, that, and the other thing, all this other happy falderall? I don't want these things to have happening right now. Stop doing it. So I now have to go in there in a live video that I'm currently doing right now, and I have to switch things around. Why? Because you have to actually get into the page of the video, and then you have to say, no, I don't want any flipping automatic chapters. No, I don't want any automatic places. Embedding, yes, I'll allow. Allow all comments. How many people like the stream? That's cool. And there was some other thing in here about, like, people sampling and whatnot, but I think that's going to be actually when the video is physically ended. And I will definitely undo that one with great alacrity. Why? Because it's flipping bloody dang annoying. I got a couple of people in the chat room here, so appreciate you guys coming on by. CLUS and Barry K. Sean, appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Looking in the chat room, have I ever tried TikTok? I think they have a live option now. Well, actually, yeah, TikTok actually does have these things. Unfortunately, it is flat out blanking Chinesium. Yeah, I do not want to have my personal information out there for the Chi-Coms to go, we got you. Really, sound guy? We got you equals. Okay, whatever. The biggest thing I really truly just don't like is these guys backdoor your information, and they snoop it up inside your computer, and they one, obviously check your IP address, obviously, do all these other various things. And truly, the only time I would ever really actually log into TikTok versus, like, viewing a video there, which, somebody sends me a link, I'll watch a TikTok video, but I'm not logging into the website in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be how that one works. Patron Fever in the room, appreciate you coming on by. Reporting for duty with Judy and nominating Sound Guy and Terminator for Archer Guard Detail. Okay, I've heard references in the last day or two about this Archer thing, except for the cartoon references. I got no clue what anybody's talking about when they mention Archer. I do know what people are talking about when they say Tigger juice, so excuse me right there. And yes, I actually did break down and wash the cup and remove my biological experimentation project. So excuse me 1 second here. No, still tastes like coffee. Do have a meat stick though, and that's kind of nice. This one being a jalapeno meat stick. Oh, wait a minute. This one is an Archer meat stick. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Nah, it's not that great. I can see why they didn't sell that much, and I got them really cheap. Oh, Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's business associate to testify before the House Ways and Means. Can we say dead man walking? Yeah. Just give me 1 second here. So anyway, hopefully that is now squared away, and I can just go in there and tweak and tune it the rest of the way. Okay. Yeah, I'd say potentially that guy is probably going to have a bad case of Epstein aside. Um, I would not put him in protective custody in any way, shape, or form. If this guy wants to stay alive, I'm thinking he'd probably have to rely on the protection squad from, like, Donald John Trump or something along those lines. But it is what it is. There's a really bad case of Arkansas that seems to be going on most times now in the federal government, where these guys tend to get a little bit too close to pulling the curtain back and showing us what's going on behind it, and they wind up blanking. Well, dead ducks. Okay, I mean, that's about the only way to describe it. These guys pretty much are just doing their thing, and we think that it's going to work, and then no, they're just yeah, they're dead stuff. Not that great a meat stick, but I kind of had to eat something. Yeah. Well, I've had worse, but there is other kind of meat sticks around that potentially, possibly could be a better meat stick. It's edible. It has a jalapeno kick to it. It's portable. I'll give it that. They say it's grass fed. Just give me 1 second here. They say it's grass fed, so it should be actually pretty good. And in the realm of possibilities, I've had worse meat sticks.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Sound guy, wrong kind of meat stick. Wrong kind of meat stick. Anyway, news stories, and I gotta rag on these guys simply because, in the realm of amateur reporting, Yahoo News, oh wow, they're weak sauce, very very weak sauce. Donna Rossi in the room, appreciate you coming by, dude. Good to see everybody hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff like that there. CLUS, dude, I am not gonna ever do TikTok as like me signing in there, unless I have like multiple VPNs, and the Chinese are just going,
well, I have no idea who the guy is, but he come in website and he pick video up, and we know who the dude guy is.
That's the only way I would ever do it. I know, horrible Chinese accent, but that's all I could really ever think of is, the Chinese communist guys just go,
we know who this guy is, but he coming from the United States. He make video.
That's about as good as it's going to get. Sorry. So anyway, Yahoo News. Oh man, you want to talk about the laughably weak sauce Yahoo News? Man, no other way to describe them other than simply to say just completely how weak sauce they are. Why is Joe Biden so unpopular? I may have talked about it last week, but it just bears mentioning again how weak sauce this article is. And they're comparing him to Carter. I know I'm ragging on him again, but wow. Yahoo News, you guys are blanking clueless. I'm gonna have to roll back the sound effects on this one to pull this one out of my keister, as it were. But we need to be talking about, yes, the good old
Chinese Communist COVID infection.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the
Short.
Actually, you know what? I think we are talking about we are talking about the
Short.
Yep. Definitely talking about that one. Reason being is there's a clot shot expert, Dr. Alfredo Victoria, who was supposedly an expert about the
Chinese Communist COVID infection.
Sound guy, capture that sound bite. Patron Fever, you're gonna have to be a little more specific. We have a fairly vast library, and he tends to go off the rails sometimes. See one sec. You mean the boner one where, He-Man doing the thing. Actually, no, I think that was just an in-studio impromptu thing where apparently too much scotch had been passed around. But no, that was not me ripping the He-Man thing. Let's see. So, clot shot expert Dr. Alfredo Victoria dies suddenly at age 42. Okay, now what I said in my statement therein on Facebook when I posted this thing up, I said, but mRNA clot shots are safe. Myocardial infarction is a heart attack. Now, if you guys look at the way I'm replumbed, I had 6 blockages, and I lived into my 50s before they did the bypass on my heart arteries, and this guy was only 42. So, statement in that they're saying about this guy is, quote, world shocked by the sudden death of renowned clot shot expert Dr. Alfredo Victoria Moreno, known to many as his regular appearances on Mexico Today. I guess it would be Usted Mexico. Usted of Mexico. So basically, Mexico Today. Dr. Alfredo was a passionate advocate of the Chinese Communist covert viral infection clot shot. Reading like the mRNA version. So the 42-year-old public health specialist died in his sleep on Monday due to a myocardial infarction, according to reports. He was otherwise in excellent health with no known pre-existing medical conditions. What do you think happened to the doctor? Do you think possibly he maybe got a little bit of he may have just had some because it wasn't like he was doing
Snortsky.
no.
I just snorted a suitcase full of coke, and I'm starting to feel the effects.
Yeah, suck that dust up.
I like it.
Okay, so it's safe to say that that doctor was not doing the snort ski. It literally was just the case of the Chinese Communist covert viral infection clot shot. Dude, Chinese. No, that's just me riffing it. Be right back. McCarthy calling for impeachment on news. Okay, well, you got to remember too, when you get rid of Joe Kaka, you have somebody else in there who really, one heartbeat away. Thanks, sound guy. One heartbeat away. Oh no. Okay, I don't know what she was doing after she did that. But yeah, that's kind of like our soundbite for Kamala Harris is her going, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and all the rest of that fun stuff. Yeah, you got to remember she's only one heartbeat away from sitting in the Oval Office. She is like the most unpopular politician ever to run for president on the Democrat Party. Ever. She basically is just pretty much hated. So anyway, this guy kicks off, basically otherwise excellent health, 42 years old. Only thing we can think of is maybe it was a case of he had a, clot shot. Okay. That's the only thing that adds up into this one is he had the clot. Yeah. Thanks, sound guy. Finally. He got the clot shot. I'm just going to keep riffing on news stories here. There's a DOD memo, and this one, okay. You know that whole thing about they say like, a platoon or a battalion is only as good as its weakest soldier? Well, the DOD has stepped in it yet again. This one coming in from Breitbart.com. There's a DOD memo that says transgender soldiers on hormone therapy can skip deployments. Okay. First and foremost, let me explain something to you. Hang on 1 second here. On an aircraft carrier, you have multiple thousands of military personnel on the ship. all these guys do specific jobs, and they are intrinsically involved to keep the vehicle in operation, sending planes up, bringing planes down, refueling, rearming, maintenance, obviously maintaining, maintenance on the pilots, as it were. All those things are intrinsically involved in the operation of a Navy vessel. Now, there's a dirty little secret about the chicks that ship out on those boats. They become known as love boats. So you have this chick going ashore, and she's got somewhere in the order of like $20,000 to $30,000 because she was using her primary sexual characteristic to which to earn money, with multiple thousands of very frisky guys going, "Hey, there's a girl here, and I can hit that." Well, in the process of all that operational activity, potentially they wind up pregnant. Once they wind up pregnant, they cannot be on board of a warship, potentially going out to combat activities. They get a helicopter ride home, and then they go home and basically crank out that's what they do. Okay. So anyway, these chicks were on the boat, and this week on the Love Boat, 4,000 frisky sailors, 3 girls. It's going to be a really busy time in that bunk. Why? Because they're going to be earning the high dollars. This week on Sluts. Anyway, this week on Sluts. But the thing about it is once they get knocked up and they ship out, the boat turns around and goes back to shore, or it gets new personnel, because all these chicks that are on these boats and all the males that are on these boats, everybody does an intrinsically important job. So let's just say that chick is like, like the high muckety muck in the communication room. Yeah, just because she owns a vagina and has a lot of sex with guys doesn't take away from the fact that she has a vagina and has a lot of sex with guys. But it does take away from the fact that the person that was sitting in that seat and doing that amazingly important job on that boat can no longer do it because she was well irrigated and cranked out a crotch fruit. So that's what happened on many occasions. Is these chicks get knocked up, they bring home boatloads of cash, and the MPs have to escort them to shore as they have racks of cash on their person and, of course, a belly expanding. So that's some of the things that happens when you have the knot lined up for a proper complement on a Navy vessel. The boat don't leave the dock, or the boat has to return to shore because that chick just completely screwed up the process. And, oh, yeah, you used to be able to get hung up on that one, and you would get, you would probably get a general discharge, and they wouldn't deal with your crap anymore because they want somebody that's going to be reliable and not be a slut. So anyway, they say now that these guys basically, or girls, or whomever's, whatever you wish to call them, are doing the therapy and they cannot go out on deployment. So, in the memo, it states, transgender soldiers receiving hormone therapy may avoid deployment for as many as 300 days. Okay, next stupid-ass question. With that 300 days of non-deployable situation, how deployable are they going to be after the 300 days? Because if you think about it, when you load a guy up with female hormones, or you load a chick up with male hormones, you make everything jacked up. Also, the memo says, after 12 months of hormone therapy, transgender service members can request surgical care, such as upper or bottom surgery. Translation, Thor's hammer. We are paying for this crap. I've stated on many occasions, I'm a good libertarian, okay? I don't care who you do. I don't care what you do. I don't care where you do it. The big thing is I don't want to see it. I don't want to pay for it. And it doesn't need to intrude on my lifestyle when you live out your lifestyle. That's basically it. Freedom of choice also means you can exclude yourself from those activities. Patriot Fever in the Room just says, breaking news, the federal judge just threw out Hunter Biden's plea deal after the F-chuckery, let's just leave it like that, the F-chuckery pulled on the judge's clerk. He got the sweetheart deal, and they were like, you know what? No, we're not playing with you, man. You are a butthole. So anyway, that's what's going on with that one. Going back to the story, though, this is absolute crap, and it's going to completely render some areas in the U.S. military beyond FUBAR. I mean, absolutely beyond FUBAR. This one, I cannot begin to tell you just how funny this one makes me think it is to see these things. Oh, man. It's okay. There is a situation going on. Where's this taking place? The story is actually posted up at truthpress.com. And it's happening in Argentina, of all places. But they're dealing with the
Dick.
Yeah, they're dealing with the
Dick.
fish. So they call these things the 10-inch penis fish. And they wash them on a beach, freaking out the locals. So thousands of the 10-inch penis.
Dick.
Let's just call it penis sound guy, okay? So thousands of the 10-inch
Dick.
penis fish have washed up on the beach in Argentina in a bizarre phenomenon. The grim-looking sea worms, known formerly as Eurychus. Oh, wow. What a name is this? Eurychus unicinctus. Unicinctus line the beaches on Multiar, north of Rio Grande. The creatures flooded the beach after a heavy storm on Monday afternoon. This is not an infrequent phenomenon in Argentina, with stacks of the sea
Dick.
worms having previously lined the shores in the south of the country following torrential weather. Despite their rather rude-looking appearance, the sea worms, sea worms.
Dick.
Sound guys, stop. The sea worms,
Dick.
sea worms,
Dick.
sea
Dick.
worms,
Dick.
sea
Dick.
worms,
Dick.
sea worms. I think it wore it out. The sea worms are greatly sought after in Asia for their medicinal properties because they like eating.
Dick.
Sound guys, sound guy. Local fishermen have reportedly flocked to the beach to gather up the penis fish
Dick.
and are deemed to be excellent bait, particularly when fishing for sea bass. Locals photographed the phallic creatures,
Dick.
each measuring around 10 inches along the shoreline earlier this week. Thousands of the sea worms have previously washed up on a beach in California in 2019. Smaller clusters of the sea
Dick.
worms have previously been spotted along the shores in Argentina. The
Dick.
worms. The worms
Dick.
like to bury themselves in sand, but storms and swells in the ocean can easily knock them off course and onto land. Also known as the fat innkeeper worm.
Dick.
Fat innkeeper worm. The fat innkeeper
Dick.
worm. He's at it again, folks. The creatures create a U-shaped burrow in the seabed left for other animals to move in, hence the moniker. Fossil evidence identified the creature's been around for 300 million years. A single Eurychus unicinctus can live up to 25 years. While some humans fish for creatures, larger fish, sharks, seagulls, and otters can tend to prey on the
Dick.
worms. The species has gained particular notoriety in Asia, where they are eaten raw for their medicinal benefits to the high concentration of
Dick.
amino acids, sound guy. Not
Dick.
high concentration of amino acids. They're generally sold alive at wet markets where customers can specify which one they want. Their
Dick.
taste. Their taste is described as
Dick.
mild and offer a similar texture to
Dick.
clams. He's really at it today, folks. While it's customary in most Asian countries to eat the sea worms raw, some regions in China prefer to dehydrate the creature so they can be stirred for longer. hang on a second here. Lost my place. Oh, the
Dick.
penis fish are then rehydrated when they want to eat before they're fried. They're generally fished for the They're generally fished for in the shallow waters of China seas, but are also found in sand tunnels beneath the water around the world. Japan considers the
Dick.
fish a delicacy, pairing it with soy sauce and vinegar for sashimi.
Dick.
Sashimi dick. Dude, done. Okay? We're talking about a fish, not
Dick.
so you're saying it's the
Dick.
fish. All right, whatever. He's on a tear, folks. I think Sound Guy did find the article. Just give me a second here. Picture of feet rotating to save us deference tube. And not the
Dick.
fish. Oh, man. Oh, Rob Fox, appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff. Appreciate you hanging out with us. This is not usual podcast activities. My sound guy seems to think it's funny to talk about a penis fish and call it a
Dick.
dude. Stop. Okay? Really, just stop talking about the
You dick.
fish. Anyway, scroll. This is kind of one of those really kind of just sad stories. I actually looked the chick up. Her name is Prisha Mosley, and she's 25. But she's a 25-year-old girl who went through the transition process, scads of testosterone, and had her tatas removed. Sad. And they basically, I mean, they skinned her down to like almost rib cage. And she's not a small chick. But if you looked at her chest, you would say, yeah, it kind of looks like a guy with a couple of, really bad scars underneath. But they literally clean her out of all female tissue upstairs and downstairs. I've read an additional article where they actually went into the detail. And without being too graphic, let's just say that basically because she was on so much testosterone for so long that literally all the lady parts kind of collapsed in on themselves, kind of like, basically like a slinky squishing down. And of course, everything else for the lady parts kind of just went and withered away. So much so that you actually can't put anything inside her like you normally would because all that stuff is jacked up. Needless to say, the external components became very male-like. And we've all seen that from the women that are basically, taking way too much testosterone, bodybuilding, like all the lady parts kind of get like more like male parts than female parts. Well, she said essentially, she's now completely jacked up. She refers to herself as ruined, says nobody will love her. It's really just a sad story. And, she's basically one of these chicks that's gone through so much mental torment upon herself. She's like covered with scars from cutting herself. Basically really bad advice when she was younger. Yeah, do these things, hack this stuff off, get on this, hormone therapy. And it really gave her a really, really bad life. So where is she now? She's now at age 25, I think it is. Yeah, she's age 25, but here's the kicker. This has happened in North Carolina. She is now suing the surgeon, the counselor, and all the other providers who insisted on giving her life-altering, quote-unquote, gender-affirming care while she was under the impression she was a male. Now, did they give her any kind of additional counseling? They said, nope, Thor's hammer. You're a dude. Let's hack it off, add it in, stick it on. So anyway, they basically really screwed her up at age 17 and began all the hormone treatment and really messed her up. So they basically did all that, and she's got no lady parts upstairs, and her lady parts downstairs are jacked. So much so that she will probably never, ever carry a child to term, and it's just sad all these things have happened. I hope she takes these guys to absolute bankruptcy, and the jury goes, you know what? $25 million for basically the one award, but because we have the punitive things now, we're going to make it just a bit more expensive. I hope they light that place up for hundreds of millions of dollars so they learn the hard lesson. Do not do this to kids. Wait until they're at least an adult before you even think of talking to them about doing any kind of a gender affirming care or any of the hack and choppery or addictomy or ripagvagemy, any of the other stuff that you're doing to these women and men. You need to pay the price. I hope that she wins and wins big, because this is going to be one of those precedent-setting things where these guys have been doing these things, learn the hard way not to do these things. Scroll. This one is amazingly cool. How cool is it? Well, it's kind of one of those amazing things that the left is losing their flipping mind over. So, coming in from patriotjournal.com, patriotjournal.com, which is pjsnewsletter.com, there is a major victory by the parents in one key state. Quote in the article now, parents have made it clear across the country they're ready and willing to fight for their children against leftist policies. How parents raise their kids morally and ethically is none of the government's business. Honoring parents' input in decisions and development of their children was hammered home this week in Virginia. Pretty blue. Kind of purplish now. Parents and their children are now protected from the school districts trying to hide important issues from the parents. Coming in from the Daily Wire, Virginia's education department has finalized a new rule requiring all public schools to get parental permission before cooperating with children who want to identify as a different gender. Now, the thing about it is, that's big about this is the sneaky stuff that they've been doing, going, we don't need to tell your parents about this. We'll keep this amongst ourselves. This will be our little secret. And when you're ready, we'll do all these other things, and we don't need to talk to your parents about these things. So when you come to school, bring another set of clothes, change your clothes, and be going from this to that, and we will have nothing bad to say to you whatsoever. You ever heard of basically kids having their heads full of mush? Yeah. There's a reason why they see people reaching like age 23, 25 is like the age of ascension. That's when everything kind of makes more sense and you're thinking more logically. You're not just going emotionally. It's kind of like the old saying, those who are not liberal as a child have no heart. However, those who are not a conservative as an adult have no mind. And I believe that was Churchill that said that. Looking in the room, yes, I did hear that Ontario Knife from upstate New York has stopped operations. I want one of those OKC Marine Corps bayonets. Just give me 1 second here. I've been watching them on eBay, and I really would like to have one. Why? It's just a better... Okay, I'm going to jump subjects for 1 second here. Looking at the M9 Frobus, which... Okay, I will just do a really quick, stupid thing here and just give you a slight illustration. Hang on 1 second here. I'll just make this very easy on everybody. M9 Bayonet. Okay, now here are the images. Hang on a second here. Let me find a decent image. All right, that one works right there. That's a decent one. Hang on a second here. Actually, that's not a decent one. That's Amazon being Amazon. Let me find a good image. Amazon. All right, I can use this one. I can use this one. It's not a great image, but you guys will get the idea. Okay. Hang on a second here. Let me do a little bit of scrolly. A little bit of scrolly. All right. There we go. So essentially, the M9 bayonet is not... That's actually one of the Chicom copies. It's got the saw teeth on it. It is not a great bayonet. It is not a good field knife. And truthfully, anybody that's ever fielded with one will tell you they are murder on your hands. They are just not a good unit. So anyway, the OKC, which was a later iteration specified by the Marine Corps. Why? Because the Marine Corps loves the K-bar. And they were like, what if we made a K-bar style knife into a bayonet? Well, you basically get a Bowie style bayonet that's slightly longer than the M9. It has some serrations at the base for improved cutting ability. And it's actually a better field knife because the grip doesn't rip the snot out of your hand in the process. It still locks on your firearm and turns it into a bayonet kind of carrying to it. Anybody that clips a bayonet onto their weapon and thinks that they're going to, over the hill, no. Bayonet charges pretty much went the way by the wayside because, well, everything is too short now, okay? The M4 carbine is basically a 14.5 barrel or 11.5-inch barrel. That's not a big enough gun with another 6 to 8 inches on the end, okay? That's not like the Japanese guy who's like about, 5 foot nothing with the 5 foot Arisaka with the bayonet on it, okay? It's a little bit different. Dude basically has a spear at that point, and you basically are walking up with basically a Zulu spear that's about 3 feet going, No, it's not going to do it. Patriot Fever, I want one of the buoys. Sorry, everyone. No, there's no problem there, dude. Everybody likes their knives. It's just a sad occasion, and yet another company going by the wayside in the Rust Belt, upstate New York. It's just the sign of the times. There's no good manufacturing up there because it just costs too much. I mean, New York State. If you look at New York State, you got to remember that New York State is a hell of a lot like Maryland, and there's a reason why I say Maryland. It's like you have the whole rest of the state, and then you got Baltimore City going, no, we get the most attention because we're the only incorporated city. Well, that's kind of like New York. You have a whole rest of the state, and New York State is not small. It's actually very large in comparison to a bunch of other states. It's actually, I think, close in size to Pennsylvania, if not like maybe just a skosh smaller, maybe a little bigger. I don't know. I got to look at the maps again, but it's not a small state. Well, the thing about it is comprising all of New York would be basically like looking at my flag and saying, yeah, this is New York City. All of this basically runs all the rest of it. That's what happens in New York. So, unfortunately, everybody that lives in the upstate, who tends to be pretty conservative, once you get outside the city, the state gets pretty red. Only problem is they're drugged down by the city, which is really, and I really want to curse here, but it's really fakaka duty blue. Ugh. That's the problem with upstate New York. The Rust Belt, all these companies that used to be up there are gone now. All these things had great notoriety. Why? Because it was right by the Great Lakes. Why? Because it was right by Canada. Why? Because it was just very easy to get stuff in and out of there. It wasn't really that bad a shake because also Pennsylvania has plenty of oil that they're not tapping now. Yeah, if you need to use the petrochemicals from Pennsylvania, it's a fairly short trip as opposed to going, hey, you guys out in Texas or, out in, Midwest somewhere, can you send us your oil? They didn't do that. They used the Pennsylvania oil. Hence, like oil companies like Pennzoil. Yeah, Pennsylvania oil. Scrolly. All right, talk about True. You're talking about their Patriot Fever. Truthpress.com. Oh man, this is good poop. And I really wanted to say the S word, but this is good poop. Hunter's best friend will testify that Hunter had dad on phone multiple times with foreign business partners. Coming in from truthpress.com. It's a direct challenge to the Biden family narrative. Hunter Biden's former best friend, who serves as director on the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, along with him, will reportedly say that Hunter Biden put his father on the phone roughly 24 times as Hunter spoke with foreign business partners or business investors. Joe Biden was repeatedly claimed he did not speak to his son about Hunter's foreign business dealings. This is the one going about Archer. So Devin Archer, 48, excuse me, will testify before the House Oversight Committee and is expected to say the calls happened in his presence. The New York Post reported, adding that a close associate of Archer said he was testifying out of an obligation to his quote-unquote civic duty. The associate stated that Archer had quote-unquote nothing to hide, nor revenge or to enact, nor anyone to protect other than his family. He feels he's been handcuffed by an absurdly bogus fraud case, is remaining silent. In a forum of his immunity, he had at least speak the truth. Archer's family has allegedly been targeted by death threats and warned to keep your mouth shut since it's revealed he would testify. You know what? I think every single one of those family members of his should go public in the news media and any news media and say, you know what? This is what happened. And here's the documentation of the death threats. Yeah. That's what needs to have happen. You know, when you start outing these guys, they tend to get very, very scared, very, very reactionary, and they tend to do stupid things. Good times. Good times. Scrolly. Okay, I am not a huge fan of his, but you know what? Sometimes even a stopped clock is right twice a day. So he might be as crazy as a crap house rat, but this SOB has merits too. Also coming in from truthpress.com, in a major shift, RFK Jr. calls for corruption investigation of Joe Kaka. Now, I got to tell you, folks, these guys side by side, it's almost scary to look at these two guys side by side. I almost say that, Joe Kaka almost looks better. I mean, hang on a second. Let me grab a quick shot here. I can show you what I'm talking about. But if you look at these two guys side by side, I don't know how to say this other than to say this, but I think Joe Kaka looks a little bit smoother than RFK Jr. I think Joe Kaka is he's definitely been around like I don't know, maybe like some like Botoxing and like facial peeling and other tune-ups, and I think Joe Kaka has had some work done. Anyway, in a major shift, basically, RFK Jr. calls for corruption investigation of Joe Biden. Democrat presidential candidate RFK Jr. changed tactics on Sunday and demanded for the first time an investigation of possible corruption by President Joe Kaka, his party's standard bearer. Kennedy's request was prompted by a release last week of an FBI informant report that alleged that Biden was part of a $10 million bribery scheme involving a Ukraine company that hired his son, Hunter. Could that be Burisma? Possibly. The report released by Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, alleges that Burisma Holdings founder Mykola Zlochevsky, I think it is, told the informant that he was, quote-unquote, coerced into paying the Bidens $10 million to get a Ukrainian investigation shut down. Whoops. Quote, I've avoided criticizing the president because I'm trying to bring people together and end some of the vitriol, the poison that's made politics so poisonous, Kennedy told Fox News host Maria Bartiramos Sunday morning features. Quote, I think, though, the issues are now coming up are worrying enough that we need a real investigation of what's happened. I mean, those revelations where you have Burisma, which is a notoriously corrupt company, that paid out apparently $10 million to Hunter and his dad. If that's true, then it's really troubling. Kennedy added Americans should be worried about the politicization of the federal law enforcement. I think that that's something that every American needs to worry about in our federal agencies, which are being used in the above policies and now has become weaponized as political instruments. And that, again, is another really damaging trend for our democracy, he said. Okay, that is spoken like a pure, full-on DNC member. If you guys remember your civics classes, we're not a democracy. We are a representative republic. Get it right. Scroll. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but there was an issue at the Obama estate. Yeah, this one coming in PatriotAlerts.com. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. In a tragic turn of events, a 43-year-old paddleboarder went missing on Sunday evening in the waters of Martha's Vineyard, was found dead on Monday morning. The man, whose identity has not been released, was out paddleboarding with a companion when he suddenly appeared to struggle, submerged, and failed to resurface. The incident occurred near the $12 million mansion owned by the Obama family, adding a twist to the unfolding scene. I just simply said it like this. Obama was left a floater. Companion at the time of the incident immediately alerted the authorities. Interesting, the 911 call and dispatch address for the incident were linked to Obama's Martha's Vineyard home. However, it remains unclear whether the former president family were in the estate at the time of the incident. I can guarantee you, though, the Secret Service was on that like steak on poop. Upon receiving the distress call, a joint agency search operation was swiftly launched at approximately 7:46 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah, the operation involved numerous agencies, including Edgar Edgerton family and all other island fire departments, local police, state police patrols, air wing, detectives, and Dukes County Sheriff's Department and the Coast Guard. I bet the Secret Service were riding on those boats too. Despite extensive search efforts involving divers, marine assets, and area support, the body was not found on Sunday night. The darkness and vastness of the pond presented significant challenges to the search operations, according to the officials. Yeah. He's just around. Man. So anyway, they're looking for this guy, 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 trying to find this guy. And where was he? Sound guy. That was more a little insensitive. So they basically flew the helicopters around using side scanning, sonar, this, that, and the other thing. Shortly after 10 a.m., the body of the missing paddleboarder was recovered from the Edgartown Grand Pond by the Massachusetts State Police divers. The recovery was made approximately 100 feet from shore at a depth of about 8 feet. The victim's body was located by the Massachusetts Environment Police officers deploying side scan sonar from a boat. Okay, so apparently they were cruising around going beep, 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 looking for this thing. And looking for this thing, and looking for this thing, and looking for this thing, and looking for this thing. And apparently they just, sound guy. Sound guy. No, sound guy. Sound guy. Oh, we found him. Hey, let's bring him up. Hey, look, it's the guy. We found him. Hey.
You dick.
Thanks. Investigation into the fatality is currently being conducted by the State Police Detective Unit for the Cape and Islands District and Edgartown Police. Further details about the incident and victim are expected to be released later. The Obamas own a home on Martha's Vineyard, an island located south of Cape Cod in Mass. Known for being an affluent summer colony, they purchased the property in 2019 after renting it for a summer. All right, so anyway, they own this thing.
Dick.
What do you... No, there's no fish over there like that, okay?
You dick.
What?
Okay, so they were looking for this guy. They found this guy.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Okay, now he's just being obnoxious. So yeah, they basically found a DB and floaty and all that good stuff like that there. I cannot begin to tell you, I don't know if there's even a palate cleanser, but I cannot begin to tell you how much absolute, utter disgust I have for this guy. Excuse me 1 second here. Absolute, utter disgust I have for this guy. And let me explain to you how I define him. He's a creepy, rhino, Charlie Brown-looking asshole, and guess what? His political career has just pretty much gone, well, it's gone bye-bye. Yeah, so what happened? Well, he was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. Who am I speaking about? Mike Pence. I could play the YouTube video, but you know, I don't want to get a ding, so I'm not going to do that. I'm simply just going to read the quote. So, basically, Pence was going on about, well, this, that, and the other thing, you know, it's not my concern. And Tucker finally got sick of it and nuked Pence on the Ukraine aid that he is so beholden to give over. Quote, every city in the United States has become much worse over the last 3 years, and your concern is the Ukrainians. Yeah. Answer to Tucker Carlson, that's not my concern. And that's not the only time I've heard him state something like that. Mike Pence, you
dick.
Yeah, he's just...
You dick.
Just...
Dick.
Yeah, just...
Dick.
Dick. That Charlie Brown looking mother father. I hope that piece of bovine excrement figures out that his political career right now is about as dead as disco. But Patriot Fever in the room. Pence finally lost me. Lost me with that one. Go suck establishment sausage. I think you're trying to say he should be enjoying a nice big fat
dick.
Yeah. Thanks, sound guy. The timing on that was actually correct. Because when you're talking about Mike Pence,
You dick.
he should be engorged upon he should be salivating upon engorged.
Dick.
Yeah, you're right. Suck a fat
Dick.
you.
Dick.
Yeah. Anyway, so that piece of crap, bovine excrement, monkey puke. Really want to curse here. Well, anyway, we have yet another time where we can drag out the good old sound effect, and we need to talk about, well, Mr. Yeah, we're talking about why? Because nobody can screw things up quite like the name is. Yeah, I like the fart at the end. That's just good. I like the fart at the end. So coming in also from truthpress.com, a Democrat governor is suing the Biden administration over a plan to reduce traffic congestion. Yeah. And what state is this in? Well, let's just have a slight poll here. What state with a Democrat governor do you think is suing Joe Kaka over his little interesting, you're going to be doing this thing with a presidential mandate? Who do you think and what state could this possibly be? Let me just do a slight poll in the room there. Who do you think that is from what state? I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised when you hear who the answer is. What state do you think it is? Could it be California? No, they're suck-ups. They're beholden to him. Nope. It is not Cali, Patriot Fever. Wrong coast. It's not New York. Why? Because they are just brown-nosing Joe Kaka so hard that they probably are putting their nose into the bottom of his stomach after going fully through his lower GI tract. Nope. Democrat New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is suing the Biden administration over recent approval of a New York plan designed to reduce traffic congestion. The lawsuit was filed on Friday against the Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration, where Murphy alleges the agencies violated environmental laws. Oh, my stars and garters, this is too delicious. You have a liberal suing another liberal because of a liberal policy is being violated. This is just delicious. Quote, after refusing to conduct a full environmental review of the MTA's poorly designed tolling program, the FHWA has unlawfully fast-tracked the agency's attempt to line its own coffers at the expense of New Jersey families, Murphy said in a statement. So basically a New Jersey guy is saying that a tax is unjust? What? I can't believe this. A New Jersey liberal is saying that taxing people expressly too much is unjust. Yeah. Quote, the cost of standing idly by while the MTA uses the New Jersey residents to help balance its budget seats are more than economic. Oh my God. This is delicious. This is describing everything wrong with socialism. They spend like crazy, and then they go, oh, snap, we don't have enough funds to make this thing work. We need more money. Let's sock it to the population. Yeah. So earlier this year, the Federal Highway Administration modeled a plan after New York's Metropolitan Transit Authority, which charges commuters a major fee to enter Manhattan in order to limit congestion and improve the air quality. Okay. Where did they get this from? No, sound guy. They didn't get it from Kaka. They got it from England. That's right. The Brits do the same exact thing to limit people going into downtown London to reduce the traffic load. Now, has it actually worked? No, because everybody just goes, oh, I can't drive a gasoline-powered car in the city. I know, I'll drive an electric car. And that's the first thing they do is they go out and they get an electric car, or they have a hybrid. They turn off the gas engine, and they got 30 miles of range on the electric motor, and they go into the city, park it, and then when they're done with their work day, and then they go out of the city, they start the gas engine up, and they drive home on petrol. It doesn't work. The Brits have admitted it is an abstract, idiotic failure of complete and total ridiculous proportions. They know it doesn't work. What happens next? New York goes, that is such a great idea. We're going to hang somebody else up for even more money. Why? Because the pleasure, the absolute prestige of living in New York City or commuting into New York City, you need to pay more for the prestige of owning, operating, and doing anything in New York City. I would never put a foot in that place to live ever again. I don't care how much they're going to pay me. And I do find it funny that, complain. Tons of money, can do it anywhere. Sean Hannity still bitches and complains, but he lives in New York. I live in Long Island. Dude, no, you're still spending tons of cash because you live in Long Island. You're putting like 60% of your income, of which you don't make a small amount of money, right back into New York's coffers. If you lived in Florida, you wouldn't be getting any income tax at all. Bitch and complain. I guess you're just content with throwing all that money into the New York coffers. I guess you're content with that. But I can tell you for a fact, looking at other stuff, other hosts, Andrew Wilkow has already stated he lives in New Jersey and he's looking in Florida. He's probably going to, move to Florida as soon as his daughter reaches a certain age level. And the only reason he hasn't is because of school and friends and everything. He doesn't want to basically completely rip her away from all that stuff and give her an entirely new environment. That's the only reason he hasn't done it. Patriot River, maybe in New York, adopts, what was that again? Hang on a second. I can't quite read your comment because there's the stupid little star things here. Adopts more Garrison bikes to get around. Hang on a second here. Me cheat something real fast here. Adopts Mr. Garrison's bike to get around. Oh, yeah. So anyway, early in the year, the Federal Highway Administration modeled a plan to improve air quality. Murphy said the plan brought, quote, unjust taxation to New Jersey residents. Dude, are you sure you haven't been hanging out with MAGA Republicans and you're seeing taxation as unjust? Wow. That is a revelation there when the Democrat goes, yeah, you're really taxing the crap out of my people. Dude, you're taxing the crap out of your own people to no small degree, okay? New Jersey is not a cheap state to live in. Don't even go there. It's only slightly cheaper than New York. Quote, at MTA's own admission, the tolling program would divert traffic and shift pollution to many vulnerable New Jersey communities, impacting air quality while offering nothing to mitigate such considerable harm, he continued in a statement. Dude, you are just contemptibly liberal. Quote, today we stand as a unified front against this reckless scheme and reaffirm our commitment to combat the unjust taxation of our hardworking residents by other states, Murphy concluded. No, you're basically using their language to complain that your people are getting taxed and saying it's all because of pollution. Go away. Just shut the... I really want to curse here. Shut the... Just
Shut the fucking...
yeah, just
Shut the...
you
Shut the fucking...
yeah, just that's all I got. I mean, the only thing I can think that would alleviate this situation is Arnold, could you please
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
reload?
You are.
palate cleansing. I feel so much better about this situation now. I have to send Arnold over there for a quick, hey, how you doing? Let's see. This one I found kind of an interesting meme, but somebody took a $10 bill and they wrote on the back of the $10 bill, and this is very kind of like possibly everybody maybe should be doing this now, just so you can kind of put it into somebody's head that this could possibly happen. And it says on there, quote, if we could put a serial number on every bill, we could put one on every ballot. That's it. That's it in a nutshell, folks. You easily could start putting serial numbers on every election ballot. You could do it with paper. You can have it so it could be audited later on, so they can't go, well, this machine right here says everything's completely on the up and up. Everything's legit and da-da-da-da-da. No, it isn't on the up and up when you guys play these little foo-foo games, and it doesn't look right from nuts to butts, okay? It just says you are up to crap. See if anything else is jumping out of me. I think that's pretty much all the material, but it's really emblematic when you have these guys going, well, the voter ID is unjust. Dude, you need to have an ID to cash your paycheck, okay? You need to have an ID to do most everything in society. For somebody to ask you to present a picture ID and state you are who you are and put that on file, Thor's hammer, put that on file stating this person voted here once. It's now in the system. This guy voted once. He's not going to get another opportunity to vote because he already voted. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Those people on the East Coast, I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but there is going to be a good thing downtown in DC. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull up the good stuff and keep myself honest. Keep myself honest. Hang on a second here. Let me click off on something here. You guys can see behind me. Actually, it's behind the flag, but behind me I have a couple of vendor badges. And yearly, or when I have opportunity, one of my friends is a vendor, and I will be attending the Otakon anime convention down in Washington, D.C., and I will be working there from Wednesday. Well, Wednesday we're setting up. Thursday, I think we're setting up. So I think it runs Thursday to Sunday or Friday to Sunday. Hang on a second here. Let me keep myself honest. It will be running 28th, which will be so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we will be operating in the Walter E. Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. So if you guys want to catch up with me, I'll be working one of the tables. I don't know the location. Usually tend to be in like one of the, the main hall areas. So basically you're looking for me and you're looking for my friend that actually runs a knife sales area and, obviously like, Asian gear, as it were, home stuff and, teapots and decorations and whatnot. Mostly we're selling knives, but if you guys want to check me out, I will be there those days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Walter E. Washington Convention Center, working the Otakon. If you guys want to catch up with me, I will be there live 5x5, good stuff like that there. And we're coming up with the 10 o'clock time period, so I guess it's time for me to rock and roll. I truly appreciate your kind attention. You guys had many other things to do, but you guys decided to hang out with me on a Tuesday. I appreciate your kind attention, so I want to get my poop together and go on down the road, do what I need to do. And you guys get a gold star for attention. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff like that there. And I will see you guys next week. So catch you guys then. Have a good one. I will see you then. And eat good, keep tendering as always. You know you love it. And Otakon goodness. Hope to see you guys there. And I will be there with bells on, I think. Bells? I don't know. I'll be doing something. I'll see you guys then. I'll catch you later and have a good one. See you guys. Critters!